We also got that, but the other side is what we are is passed down from generation to generation. Of I'm empowered, nothing's going to stop me. That's what we have, and they see the attitude as a threat. They see the control as something that they can exploit, and they see the leadership as an almost it's a time bomb. It's a ticking time bomb. Because the more and more your leadership develops while you work with them, the more skills you're going to grow, and then the more you're gonna find your own worth. And they have to suppress it. They have to push it down. And if it becomes too much, you got to go. Let's actually truly find our worth and our value. Is our time worth garbage pay? Is our time worth working for people who believe that we are skillless and valueless? And when we do finally get there, they drop us, or they don't want to pay us more, or they exhaust or suppress our work ethic? No. Make our own money, have our own things, build our own wealth, because that is true freedom. If you were to tell your loved one, like your 16-year-old daughter, your 21-year-old niece, your whomever, if you were to tell them the most important piece about the professional world, what would you say that is?
I would tell them, first of all, that the most important thing that they can do is make an intentional decision to be free. And what I mean by an intentional decision, meaning that they actually know what true freedom is, and every day they're always working toward that. So in that's loaded because, of course, we have to make some definitions. We have to define our terms. But the main thing is that, and once I got to this place where I really started really fully understanding, when the Emancipation Proclamation was to be signed, in the Lincoln administration, it was to be that heads of households or freed slaves would receive 40 acres and a mule. And so what happened was that Lincoln was assassinated. Andrew Johnson was a Southern sympathizer and was his successor. So he took over for him. And he said, we're not going to do the 40 acres and a mule thing. What we'll do is that we will actually give the land back to the Southern plantation owners that we acquired from them during the war. We'll give it back to them. And then we will have them hire the slaves that they freed to work that land for a small wage. And so if you think about what that is, what is 40 acres and a mule? 40 acres is land, an asset, something that builds over time, something that you can leave to the next generation. What is a mule?
That's true.
Working your own land. That is a business. That is 100% control over your money, control over your time. So whenever they said we're going to give them 40 acres and a mule, you know why? Because initially they're like, well, they're free. Let's give them 40 acres and a mule so they can truly be free. But what they did instead, they took away the assets and they took away the control. And that's where we are today. In comparison to other demographics, we have no assets, we have no control over our time, and we have no control over our income. It worked so well. They said, well, you know what, we're going to fix this for white folks too. We're going to take away their assets, and we're going
all of them right? too.
And all of them
Nobody gets it.
Nobody gets it except the top 4% of people that know what true freedom is.
Right.
And so the thing that I would tell them is that you are supposed to be free. You are supposed to be free. So if you're concerned or thinking about whether you should, how to define that for you, you have to think back to what the intention was for you to have control over your time, control over your income, and assets to leave to the next generation. If you don't have those three things, then you're not actually free in the United States.
because of the importance of what he just said. We were promised 40 acres and a mule. We were promised freedom, true freedom, time, assets, and time, assets, and land. Time, assets, and land. We were promised that. That's what we were supposed to have. And so he continues to go on to say, if you don't believe that that's what you're supposed to have, that that's what you deserve, and that's what you own, you're wrong. You're supposed to be free. You're supposed to be free. And for those of us who are walking our lives, living by what everyone else wants us to live by, working for other people, no, that's not what we're supposed to have. We're supposed to have much more than that. We're supposed to have our own things, our own assets, our own lands, our own property, our own business, our own income, our own work, our own freedom, our own retirement. But too often we settle. We settle for much less. I mean, running at this point, everybody is. But that's what we were supposed to be originally given, because to them, right? Back then, when we were freed, when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, freedom to them was 40 acres and a mule. That's what freedom to them was. Before they freed us, that's what it was. And so they're like, well, for freedom, that means that they can go and grab their 40 acres and their mule. They can go and create their own assets, their own land, their own property, create their own income, and work their own businesses and their own. That's what it meant at that point. And yeah, they took it away from us, but we don't have to let them keep it from us. We're in a world today where business ownership and entrepreneurship is abundant, and there's so many different opportunities. There's so many opportunities out there. And you know, the crazy honest thing that I've heard so much over the last 5 to 7 years from us. I want to be a business owner. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I want to be self-made, self-owned. I hear it. I've heard it so much. But when the opportunity presents itself to us, why don't we take it? We don't take it. Are we afraid? Are we afraid? Are we afraid to succeed? Or are we afraid that someone's going to take it back from us? Like, as a culture, I know as individuals, we have our own nest, but as a culture, totally. And it's so important to be able to ask ourselves that. Like, what do we actually want to have? You know, I'm very excited about the webinar because we're specifically going to dive into a bunch of different cultural topics about what's holding us back and what others have done to succeed. And the topic was brought up, the fact that, unfortunately, a lot of us, when we succeed by ourselves. What does that mean, Charming? I'm not saying that, like, hey, you know, when I make it to the top, I'm gonna bring all you guys up. Not that. That's not what I mean, right? That right there, that's remembering where you come from, remember who you are, things like that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, not everybody should be pulled up. That's like a key thing. When you make it, not everybody should be pulled up. Why? Because they're gonna pull you back down. It's gonna be very hard to pull them up. Not everybody. You have to identify who, because some people are going to take your work for if they don't know. People who don't appreciate successful people when they're down won't appreciate you when you're up, just because you're with them when you were down. Why don't they appreciate it? Why don't we appreciate people who are up? Why don't we appreciate people who are successful? It's because we don't know what it takes to be successful. We don't know what it takes to be. We don't know all the hard work. We don't know what it's like to be a business owner or be an entrepreneur. We don't know what it requires. And so because we don't know what it requires, we don't know what they're going to go through as they try and make it all the way up. And so when we see successful people, especially black successful leaders, we don't, so much do we judge them. So much. I want to talk about a few different black leaders, and I want to go into my second point on this piece. Right. This first point is the main point right now is we become successful and we're up there by ourselves, and we try and pull the wrong people up, and it's because they don't know what it takes to get there, so they're going to pull you back down if you try and pull certain people up. That's one of the reasons why we up there by ourselves. Right. So I want to talk about like Oprah. Do you know how many black people hate on Oprah? They don't know what it took for her to get there. Yeah, she went through the same struggles as us growing up, but she still went through different struggles to make it to where she is. You'd be shocked at how many people hate on her. Now, she has so many other things that I'm sure there's political things, because everybody in that large of a role has political views and things that they do that people don't agree. But I'm just talking like, still because of that, she's still up there by herself. Obama, Beyonce, right? These black leaders. Now let's talk about, let's just pull it back and just say, when it comes to white leaders, white successful people, you when you see them, you see everybody else that's around them that's successful with them. This is one of the things that one of the other leaders for Dallas, that he'll be hosting the webinar we're speaking about. I believe they're Indians, right? A lot of times when you see those, when you see successful Indians, you also see the rest of them around them. But the black people, we're all by ourselves. When you imagine, when you look at us, we're by ourselves. Now I want to talk about the second point of why we're by ourselves. And it's because so many of us try to lend a hand to someone else while we are learning and growing. But so often does someone that you care about tell you you're a sellout, or you're wasting your time, or you don't know what you're doing, or yeah, I'll see how it goes for you. I mean, I'll be honest, I was told that a lot. I'm a sellout. You think you're better than everybody else. So we have this nasty taste in our mouth towards growth and development. But we are old. We are old having our own things and making our own ways. We are owed that. And when we unlock that, it's important for us to encourage, recognize them, push them up. If we're not going to do it, push them up. Somebody else has to get up there. And so those two pieces, we try and lend hand to the people who don't appreciate the work that it's going to take to get there, or while we're trying to grow and learn and help other people and teach them, we're better than them. We have to get rid of that as a society. We cannot have that. We are owed getting up to the top. We are just owed that. When we look at the people who are most successful in our community, they're more successful than their counterparts. I couldn't remember the word. I'm like equal. And then their counterparts. They just are more. And it's because of our because of our genetic work ethic. I believe that there's a certain level of work ethic passed down generation to generation. I do. And because of that, because of the amount of work ethic that's just born and bred into us, when we make it to the same level of success as our counterparts, we do much better. So why not break through all the chains and break away from all of the naysayers and everything else to get there? And if I don't want to get there, but you do, let me help you, brother. Let me help you, sister. So we have to stop this internal cannibalism for those of us who are getting up there, because I'm tired. It's exhausting to see that we're individually by ourselves. We're individual in little pockets. individual little pockets, all by ourselves. That's not going to free us as a culture. As an individual, yes. There's so many. You think of it, you go see a doctor, right? You go to a hospital and you see the amount of black doctors. That black doctor that we see, we all know they're on top of it. They're probably big dog running the whole doctor team, I guess. Oh, surgeon team or whatever it is. But there's probably only one of them or a few, right? There's only one or a few. Why? It's my next question I have. It's bring me to it. Why is the working class so associated with the bottom tier careers and jobs when it comes to black people? And I've worked somewhere before where, and I'm sure there's so many other people. I worked somewhere before where the black people were hired on at less pay. And I'll be honest, what was said to me was just that if you hire certain types of demographics of people and where they're from, they will accept less pay because they know that they have less skills. They will get hired and accept less pay than others because they know they have less skills. So I don't know if that's an issue on their part or both. I mean, it's an issue on their part, one, right? But is there anything else to say about this other side, right? So I want to briefly talk about the other side because this is easy answer. We have to value ourselves more. Because we are old freedom, that means that our potential is unlimited. Unlimited. Meaning that the skills that we can have are unlimited. The value that we can provide is unlimited. We have to. And we have to sit down and figure out what is it that we want. So that way we once again, as a community, as a culture, can look at our actual value. I don't know if that's, hey, you want to make $50,000 this year, break it down by the number of hours you're going to work per week, the number of weeks you're going to work per year, and you say, I'm not working for less than this. And guess what you have to do if that's the case? Build your skills up towards that. Actually develop this mindset. That's what we have to do. Develop a mindset to develop our skills to exactly where we want to be. That's what it takes. It does, we cannot in my business, whenever I'm working with someone and doing an interview with them to figure out, if it's worthy or not, if they qualify to work within my business, to be a business owner and take the business opportunity that we have, I ask them, so how much money do you need to make your first year in order for this to be worth it to you, in order for it to be worth building a business? And you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked how many people don't know how much money they need to make. And I can say this right now, and the listeners and the viewers, you're probably thinking, well, I know how much I need to make, so why is it so challenging? But when you're actually faced with an opportunity right in front of your face where you can earn as much money as you want to, is based on how much you work and your work ethic and your drive. When you're faced with that question of how much income do you need to make in order for you to start building your own business here, people, they don't know. $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. And it's sad. It's so very sad because we don't even know our own worth, our own value. And that's why people walk right past us, right over us. It does not make sense to me that I ask these individuals how much they want to make and they don't know. But then we go to a job interview for a job where somebody else is going to have us working for our time and they tell us how much we're going to make. What kind of sense does that make to you? Doesn't make any sense to me. And they tell us how much I'm going to make. You're going to tell me how much my time is worth? And that's I'm gonna tell you right now, that's never happening ever again. Not for me. If you guys want to be working for your time and your time is worth this amount of dollars, that's on you. But as a people, we are owed much more than that. We deserve much more than that. When we were freed, that's what we were owed. They took it away. We've been bringing it back. But it's time to level that all up much more. So that's the first side, right? That's the first side for ourselves. We just have to find our value and our worth. We have to know it. We have to sit down and actually understand our value and our worth, and then develop ourselves up to that point. And don't accept anything less. Focus on that. But now the other side, the statement that if we hire a certain demographic of people, they'll accept less pay because they know they don't have the skills. Because the sad thing that I noticed is that as those individuals get better at their job and develop skills, they don't want to pay them more. They don't want to develop them more. Or they don't want them to develop anymore. They suppress their pay and they suppress their leadership qualities, right? Because we are fantastic leaders. They want to suppress their work ethic by making them work more. Oh, they suppress their work ethic by making them work more. If you got this much work ethic and it's stretched across more and more hours, it's going to become thin. And so each hour that you're able to put in this amount of effort is now thinned, is now less because you're stretching it more. To your boss, if they notice that, are they going to want to pay you more? No, but they'll definitely surely offer you, hey, can you work more? Can you work late? Can you work early? You're always on time. Here's a statement. You take control. Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We take control. Yeah. They only say things to us whenever they're complimenting us that is a backhand empowerment slap. A backhand empowerment slap. That's all I say. You take such great control. Can you step into this position? Yeah, I'll pay a couple cents more, a couple quarters more, maybe $1 more for your hour to do and be something that you already were born and destined to be. And that's just so horrible. The statement is nasty. Doing that is nasty because I want to say there are so many places that do that, right? As a culture, we have less skills and less value to bring as a culture. And so they look towards our culture and our demographic to pay less. So that way they can make more money. What? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that? I'm not gonna say that you hire a Black American and a white American for the same exact position and they're going to pay the white American more. I'm not directly saying that, but they'll accept less pay. We'll accept less pay. But this is also why we have to have our own skills of leadership, taking control. Oh, what is it? There's also you have so much like spunk and attitude, and I like it. But that same exact thing is what's going to turn around and bite you in the butt when it's time for them to say, "Oh, now you have too many skills. You do too great of a job. Your attitude is a problem." Well, I want to say being able to take control, your leadership, and your great attitude is exactly why you should be self-made and in business for yourself. This is exactly why we should. This is exactly why we should. In the military, I could take control. I was a fantastic leader, but you want to know something that they cannot stand? They cannot stand my attitude. My best friend, Victoria, she was a fantastic leader, loved to take control, was great at it as well. Her attitude was the demise of her time in the military. And it happens. That is literally us. I got out of the military and I decided to become a business owner, an entrepreneur, running my own business and my own team. I'm a great leader. I love to be able to take control of projects and situations for people, help them out. And I have an attitude that's unstoppable. Why? Because it's not about having a nasty attitude. It's about having a very empowered attitude behind me that nothing or no one is going to stop me. And if you happen to put yourself in a position where you need me to give that attitude of you're not going to stop me, that's your fault, not mine. And that's why we should be entrepreneurs and business owners, making our own way, building ourselves up. That's why we should, because you got the negative side of the attitude, yeah. We also got that, but the other side is what we are, is passed down from generation to generation. Of I'm empowered, nothing's going to stop me. That's what we have. And they see the attitude as a threat. They see the control as something that they can exploit. And they see the leadership as an almost, it's a time bomb. It's a ticking time bomb. Because the more and more your leadership develops while you work with them, the more skills you're going to grow. And then the more you're gonna find your own worth. And they have to suppress it. They have to push it down. And if it becomes too much, you gotta go. And they don't care. They'll go find the next one of us Black Americans who don't know our own value. And they're gonna say it. Yep. Perfect. You're not that great at this. That's fine. That's awesome. It's all right. We'll give you an opportunity. Ooh, we'll give you an opportunity. We'll give you a chance. You can grow here. Maybe in about 3-6 months, you can. That happens so much. And that's horrible. And the people that if you go somewhere, you notice that. If you go somewhere and notice that, before you take that position, just first off, don't take the position. Just go work for yourself, right? Build your own business, build your own entrepreneurship. But if you do, go ask around. Like, if I ask some of those people, talk to them. Like, what's going on? Who's in, like, how many Black Americans are in this position, in this job, versus white Americans, Indian Americans, Asian Americans, mixed Americans, whatever it is, right? Because you need to understand what the mindset is of who's hiring these individuals. And that's the crazy thing. And so, yeah, we can't change what they think, but we can change the value that we have. And we can also know how much we want to accept and how much money we want to make. And if we really want to trade our time for that money, man, you got to think about it like this. And I'm going to go into my next point, the next blueprint piece. You have to think about it like this. If you had a week, 168 hours in a week, and you have a family that you like to spend, let's say, 5 hours a day with. You love to spend 5 hours a day with them every single day. That's 73. That's 35 hours. 35 hours out of 168 hours. How much is that? How much is left? $133 hours. Let's say that you work. No, we're not going to say work. We're going to say, let's say that you sleep 8 hours a day times 7. That's 64. Man. 8 hours a day times 7. Oh, I did that wrong. 8 hours a day times 7 days a week, 56. So 133 hours left after we spend our 35 hours with our family, minus 56 hours leaves us at 77 hours. If we subtract 20 hours to eat and shower and things, that's 57 hours left in our week. We're probably going to spend an hour a day on our phones, doing random things like that. So that's 50 hours left that we have. 50 hours left that we have. Now, let's talk. We got 50 hours left after we spend time with our family, we shower and eat, and we spend time on our phone, and we get our sleep. 50 hours left. likely you're going to spend that 50 hours working, or at least 40 hours of that working. Maybe an additional 10 hours of that doing whatever you want to do, right? Here's what I am saying when it comes to your own worth and your own value. Every hour, because let's say you work 50 hours a week. Let's say you're working overtime, right? Every hour more that you have to put towards something, right? Your family should be the most important. Then you got to sleep. That's you're not going to get paid from that. You don't, like, if your sleep is also worth it, then you can add that to your time spent with your family as well. And then you got to eat, you got to shower, you got to do those things. You're going to spend time on your phone. It's not making you any money. So there's like, let's go 168 hours minus we're going to go minus the 56 hours of sleep minus the 20 hours of showering minus the 7 hours of being on your phone and minus, yep, there we go. So that's 85 hours left. That's 35 hours plus 50 hours to work. So if you work for 40 of those hours and you only make, let's say we're going to go with, I don't know, an average of $20 an hour. $20 an hour times 40 hours a week means that you just worked for $2,600 that week. We divide that $2,600. Oh, no, yeah, that's 20-ish, right? $2,600 you got paid that week to work and to spend time with your family, and an extra 10 hours. All right. So those three things: 26 hours that week to work 40 hours, spend 35 hours with your family, and 10 extra hours to do whatever you like to do. So that's a total of 85 hours, right? Yeah, 85 hours. So $2,600 divided by 85 hours. Is that right? Oh, no. I did that wrong. My apologies. 40 hours a week times $20 an hour is $800. I fat fingered it. It's $800 that week. I was like, no wonder why that seems weird. $800 that week to spend time with your family, work, and do something else for an extra 10 hours. If we divide that 800 hours a week by that 65 hours, each hour that you spend with your family is worth $12. Each hour that you spend with your family is worth $12. Each hour that you work is worth $12. And each extra hour to yourself, that each 10 hour is worth $12. Is that actually worth it, right? Let's say that you need to take time off for a week. That's $12 that's worth that time with your family. $12. $12 each hour that you're spending that time with your family when you're off. $12 every single time. You're losing $12. I don't know, but I feel like spending time with my family is worth much more than $12. I'd rather not be losing money while I'm working with my family, while I'm with my family, while I'm hanging out with my family. I took a vacation to see my mom and my family for Mother's Day, and I got paid thousands, like several thousands of dollars while I was on vacation with my family. My time is not worth none of that. My family is not worth $12. Right? I shouldn't have to say, oh, because I hang out with my family, I did not get this. I didn't get paid this. Like I lost this work time. Because the more you work, the more time you put into work, the more money you make. And so when you take that time away from your work to go and be with your family, you're taking money away from yourself. And every time you're spending time, every hour you're spending time with your family, that's what you make, $20 an hour, 40 hours a week. Really all you're saying is, hey, my time is worth $12. My time is worth $12 to my family. Build a business that builds you and pays you income over time, so that way you're not getting paid for your hours. You're getting paid for your value. You get paid for your value. And if you provided so much value and you're consistently providing value, you're going to get paid regardless, because you're always providing value. And you're going to get paid much more, especially as you level up your value. And too often, the poor people choose and accept to get paid for their time instead of their value. Too often do we choose to get paid for our time than our value, because it takes work. It takes effort. It takes being uncomfortable. It takes stepping out of what we know, what our family handed to us, in order to be and build our value and to be valuable. And that brings me to my last point. Once we do get there, once we do finally make that step, why do we make the wrong steps? We make a step into certain different companies that cater to us because they, once again, there's business ownership company opportunities out there that cater to us. And if they cater to us, here's what you need to watch out for. They already know that we don't want to step out of something that's comfortable. They already know that we typically don't understand our value. And they already know that we would rather trade our time for money. We don't know our value. We want to be comfortable. We want to trade our time for money. And so what do they market? Will help you build your value, which is great. That's what they market. Also, don't worry about it. We'll take care of everything for you. So that way you don't have to struggle. And on top of like commission pay, we'll also give you a base. We'll also give you a base salary. When you do this, we'll automatically do this for you. We'll give you that. You're still somewhere where somebody is dictating your time. When we step aside and we finally go somewhere and to a business opportunity, a lot of times that are catered specifically to us is because they're gonna make it easy and comfortable for us, so we can just slide right on through. And they already know that we don't really have much value, and so they can get paid extra on us while we don't, and we're not building that commission just yet. So that way they can give us just, hey, you're building a business. So it'll take a second before you go from your base salary with us to your commission. A lot of times. And it's so sad. They'll pay for everything for you. They'll get everything started for you. And they market it as a way for you to be an entrepreneur, but easy. I want to tell you, if being wealthy was easy, everyone would be wealthy. And so if anybody promises you an easy path, don't take it. You're not going to become wealthy. You're not going to become free easily. You're not. You have to be uncomfortable. We have to. We have to get out of this mindset of, well, I'm used to this. And so maybe I can just keep this part, but keep this part, but change everything else. No, you got to change everything. You have to be uncomfortable. You must. You have to do something that you've never done before and that people have never done before, because otherwise you will not be free. You will not have financial and time freedom. You will not. You will not become wealthy. It won't happen. Oh, commission, just commission, no base pay, no. Why would you want that? Why would you want base pay so that way somebody can give you dollars regardless of when you work or not? Let me rephrase that. Why would you want to get paid less than the value that you actually have? Because remember, Your value is unlimited. Your potential is unlimited. And so if they start you in business and say, hey, until you figure it out, we'll give you this base. Well, you already are unlimited. So what do you mean until I figure it out? You're going to cripple me? And that's what that is. You're going to cripple you so that way you always stay there. If you mean to tell me that I can get a base salary and once I become and I do well, then I can turn off the base salary and just make all the commissions? Well, it's much more stable for me to just keep this base salary. That's what happens subconsciously. It's very much similar to like Section 8 housing, right? Where for Section 8 housing, you mean to tell me if I make too much money, I'm going to lose my house? Then I just won't make too much money. Yeah, we don't say that. We don't say it like that way. But it's like, well, you say, well, no, that I make too much. If I were to go there, I make too much money, so I don't need to. Because I can't lose the house. Because if you make just a little bit more money, that's not enough to change your life, to get you out of your circumstance, but it's enough to make them take the house away. And then now you got to deal with just this. So it keeps you there. It keeps you there. They offer you a base salary, but they say once you're good enough, you'll come off base salary and you'll also be earning all the commissions that you've done. That's horrible. I wouldn't want that because it's going to keep me right here. I'm never going to want to go past that. Never. And so many companies I see with so many Black people that they target doing that. Oh, they have it so deeply rooted. Oh my God. And it's so disturbing. It's so disturbing to see because then there's other Black leaders who are taking advantage of that. So find somewhere that's not going to promise you that it's easy, because it's not going to be. If being wealthy, if getting there was easy, everybody would be wealthy. Everyone would be free. Everyone deserves the opportunity and the chance. Everyone has the potential to do it. But they don't take it because that's too hard. How much work did it take for you to build that, to do that? It took a whole lot of work. You saw I had my head in the books in a grave. I didn't get the chance to have no fun for a whole year straight. Built up a business. Now I can travel whenever I want to, make money while I'm traveling, make crazy, amazing impacts, donating to different charities and building up my own charitable. Come on now. You're not willing to do what it takes. And we should be, because we've already got it right there. We've already got that potential to be everything. We already do. Man. What I want everyone to understand is that we have unlimited potential. We need to find our worth much more. If we are up there, if we're already successful and we're trying to help those out that we came from, maybe find a different way to help out instead of reaching down trying to pull them up, because a lot of times they won't appreciate the work that you did and they'll try and pull you down. Or identify those people who are going to help you give back to those communities. And for those of us who see those people climbing up, let's stop eating them alive. Let's stop this internal cannibalization where we break them down because they're trying to do better for themselves, because they're trying to develop their own individual independent mindset, because they're trying to have this growth mindset. Let's stop tearing them down on that. Let's walk with them, behind them, in front of them. Let's actually truly find our worth and our value. Is our time worth garbage pay? Is our time worth working for people who believe that we are skillless and valueless? And when we do finally get there, they drop us, or they don't want to pay us more, or they exhaust or suppress our work ethic? No. We are leaders. We take control. And more importantly, our attitude is unstoppable. Those are 3 characteristics that I would love to be able to have someone in business with me. And that's what we are. And unfortunately, people use that against us to make us feel like we're wrong. But our work ethic is passed down generationally. That's where it comes from. Who does it come from? It comes from our past. So it's a gift that's given to you for something that you deserve. That when we were freed, we were promised 40 acres and a mule. 40 acres, land, assets, property, mule, work to tend to our land, work to make money for our assets, make our own money, have our own things, build our own wealth, because that is true freedom, which is what we all deserve. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please share it with others. Give it a rate, like it, comment, subscribe, share it, all the good stuff. I'm so very excited. As I said before, the link to the webinar will be in the description below. And I look forward to seeing you guys there. And reach out to me afterwards as well. If you do sign up for the webinar, reach out to me afterwards. Or you can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram. I think I might be on TikTok. You can reach out to me in a YouTube video, comment, something like that. I'd love to know how it goes. You can also email me as well. I believe maybe my phone number is also on there. But I cannot say enough how proud of us I am, honestly, because we are now getting to a place where we are starting to find our own value, and there's more self-owned Black business owners that I've seen and ever. Just hop on the train and take that chance. Trust me, you got it. You can do it. You've already got exactly the skills necessary. I'm so very proud of you guys. I hope you guys go and do great things today and have a beautiful day.